All right, episode 35, Dynasty Trades in 5. I'm Clay.
I'm Shane.
I am Scott.
So tonight we're doing Mr. Dalvin Cook. He's obviously relevant. We're week 11 now. The latest November ADP from DLF, he is RB4.
But that's way too high.
It's way too high.
Way too high. What are you people doing? What in the hell are you doing drafting Dalvin Cook at RB4, man? How many studies need to come out? Like, do you need the U.S. government to put out a study that old running backs are a bad idea? Because fantasy football itself as a community has done 4,000 studies that are data-based, analytically driven, factual, showing that old running backs are bad. Yeah, RB4, sure. What's wrong with people? What is wrong with people, Scott?
Well, I was going to start the thing by talking about, do you trust TMZ and about the stuff that came out with Dalvin Cook's?
No, but even if I don't, I trust that Dalvin Cook is, 27 years old now, 26 years old, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Just turned 26.
Exactly. He's 26. He's over the age cliff for running backs, right? The RB14, he's not even producing. He's not even worth being drafted in the top 10. He doesn't have the age. He doesn't have an explosive offense. I don't understand it. If someone wants to pay you anything approaching those prices, you need to trade him. I don't even care if you're contending. You need to move him.
I mean, he has 18 receptions this year. I mean, yes, he's missed a couple games, but that's not elite upside. That's, he's down in the range where it's like, okay, he's not replaceable like week to week with the backups that we talk about all the time. But he's certainly not like a league winner. We're in a startup right now, and Dalvin Cook went off the board at RB9. And to me, that's even maybe a little bit high. At this point, like, is there anybody that's trading Javonte Williams for Dalvin Cook? Is anybody trading any of those insulated running backs from 2020 for Dalvin Cook? I mean, probably not. Maybe you find somebody that's a little lower on somebody like Antonio Gibson or something like that. But if I have Dalvin Cook, I am thankful every game he gets through intact.
Yep.
And I'm going, where can I pivot the next week? I don't care if I'm 10-0. If I can pivot down to anybody that has the same insulation and give me a pick or a receiver on top of it, he gone.
So I saw this trade on DLF. Would you take Dalvin or Damian Harris and Deebo Samuel?
Deebo.
I thought that one was pretty close. Because Deebo is the Dalvin of wide receivers in terms of injury.
Yeah. Forget the names involved. I think the idea is pivoting off Dalvin for a receiver that you think could be a difference maker. Now, is Deebo a difference maker long term? I don't know. But if you can get a top 15, top 20 receiver for Dalvin and a running back that maybe you can buy an RB2 season out of, it's a good process deal. I don't love the players on the other side. But you could probably insert a receiver and a running back in the same range where I'm interested in that trade.
Mm-hmm. Yep. What about Dalvin Cook or Darrell Henderson and a late 22 first? Darrell Henderson.
Shane loves Hendo.
Is that what you're going with?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm competing this year, Henderson's going to give me as much production as Dalvin Cook will, if not better production. And then I'll get a first too. I could probably just turn around and flip those two assets for a better running back than Dalvin Cook if I really wanted to get, what's the word I'm looking for? Creative. Add a second that I already own or another first that I own and go get me a real bell cow running back.
Darrell Henderson is averaging 0.3 points less per game than Dalvin Cook. So if you just told me rest of the year I'm going to get the same guy. Now, do I really want Darrell Henderson in the offseason? Probably not. I think I'd probably rather have Dalvin Cook, but I have an extra first, like Shane said. So, I mean, from a process standpoint, again, pivoting off of him is this is the time because his value is only going to go down. Let's say you are 8-2, top 14, 2023 first and Derrick Henry for Dalvin Cook. And he is your only running back that's a top 20 running back. Do you take that deal and then bank? You can make up that production. That's the kind of deal that I think no one would expect. But I think that's the type of team you could really hit a home run if you get out at the right time.
I think with that one, I would have to tee up being able to get another running back. I'd have to have a second that I can play with or a third, something to be able to give me some cushion, some security there. What do you think, Shane?
Yeah, you definitely got to. That's one of those ones you got to prepare for the next trade. If I could get like a David Montgomery, yeah, something like that, I'd line that up and do that.
So that's the thing. You trade Dalvin for Derrick Henry and a 23 first, but you already have a deal lined up where you can get David Montgomery for that 2023 first.
Yeah, I'll do it.
You take that?
Yeah. So that sounds really good when you lay it out that way, so that's the kind of thing that you'd have to tee up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that's Montgomery and Dalvin probably contribute close to the same the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And I still have that piece in the offseason that I'm only going to bank one more year on next year. Just like Dalvin. If I have Dalvin in the offseason, I'm looking towards 2022. That's it. I'm not looking any further beyond. Yeah. Same thing with Derrick Henry. So they're the same thing in the offseason. So yeah, I think that's the kind of creative deal you can make as a Dalvin owner that's also a contender. And it may hurt. You may have to trade him to another contender that lost Derrick Henry. And most people just don't think that way when it comes to Dynasty.